legal consequences of underage drinking are twofold. Some of the consequences are imposed by the legislature of our state in the laws that they have passed relating to underage drinking and driving, things of that nature. And the legislature has basically told judges, you must impose this sentence upon a juvenile if they are convicted or adjudicated for having violated a drinking law. Any juvenile that does purchase alcohol when they are a minor are subject to having their driver's license suspended for 6 months and having to pay a $200 reinstatement fee. They are subject to being adjudicated delinquent and being placed under court supervision for a period of up to 2 years and required to complete any number of programs that the court may impose upon them. If they attempt to buy alcohol as a minor, and this is probably the most frequent scenario that occurs, is you'll go up to somebody else, an adult, and give them money and ask them to go in and buy the alcohol for you. An attempt to purchase alcohol in that manner is also subject to the same penalties. Loss of your driver's license. If you don't have a driver's license, your ability to obtain a driver's license is suspended for a minimum of 6 months. And again, you're subject to being adjudicated delinquent and placed under court supervision and required to pay fines and supervision fees and complete any number of programs that probably I, as the judge, would impose upon you, and make you report to a probation officer, all those things that somebody normally has to do, community service work. Possibly the violation was serious enough, you could even end up in detention. If you actually possess alcohol while you are driving or riding in a vehicle, even if you haven't taken a drink of it, if you're pulled over for another traffic offense and an officer sees alcohol in your vehicle, then you're also going to be subject to having your driver's license suspended, your ability to get a driver's license suspended for 6 months, and again, being adjudicated delinquent for possessing alcohol. If you drank the alcohol and then you threw the bottle in the bushes, the beer can in the bushes, trying to make sure that you weren't caught, and a police officer smells the alcoholic beverage on your breath, you can be charged with possession by consumption, and all the same penalties can apply again. And again, these license suspensions that I'm talking about, that is imposed by the legislature. The court has no choice. That is done. Those suspensions are put in place by the Department of Driver Services, the state agency that deals with driver's licenses. So all those suspensions are mandatory.
I think some of the laws have changed since some of the parents were teenagers, and the consequences for DUI are much stiffer now than they were, say 20 years ago, 25 years ago. Parents should be aware that, you're not just going to have to pay a fine now if you get caught driving under the influence of alcohol. There's probation, there's possibly some jail time to be served for DUI. The consequences are more severe now than they were then.
Many people may know, for an adult, if you are driving under the influence of alcohol and you're pulled over and you're tested with one of the breathalyzer tests, and you test 0.08 parts of alcohol in your blood system, then you are presumed to be under the influence of alcohol and not safe to drive. But for a person under the age of 21, you only have to have a blood alcohol level of 0.02, which is nothing. That can be half a beer, and you could test 0.02, and you're presumed, if you are a minor, to be under the influence of alcohol and less safe to drive at that point. The penalties for driving under the influence for someone under 21 are a mandatory, upon first adjudication and conviction, 24 hours in jail. That's mandated by the legislature. You have to do 40 hours of community service work, again mandated by the legislature. And you lose your license if you were .02 or above for a minimum period of 6 months. License reinstatement fee of $210. If you were .08 or above and a minor, then the law requires your license to be suspended by the state. Again, this is the state doing this, not the court. A minimum of 12 months, or your ability to obtain a license suspended for the like period of time if you don't have a license. And then DUI is a much more serious offense. You can get up to 30 days in juvenile detention for a DUI, but you have to serve a minimum of 24, as I said. And then 2 years probation, probably many alcohol education classes, counseling, treatment, things of that nature.